Hi everyone, and welcome back to Tala's cosplay vlog. I'm Tala, and today we're going to be talking about how to choose your first character for cosplaying. I have to say that you really should love the character you're going to do your first costume with, but cosplaying because you want to show the love for, you know, the anime, the video game, whatever. It's just personal to me that I choose characters that I'm really passionate over and really want to, you know, be like, hey, this is a really awesome anime or whatever, go watch it. But yeah, since that rant is over, down to the business part of it. So when you're thinking of making your first costume, you have to think about a price range. There's tons of different ways to make costumes, and there's tons and tons of different ranges for price. Going from like the most expensive fabric ever to, I don't know, Buckatoo foam. So setting a nice price range for yourself gives you the ability to try and see exactly what's out there for prices and see if you can get anything on sale. And, you know, we'll give you more money for the convention instead of more money for your costume. Next thing I'm going to talk to you about is skill level. I know it's kind of like, oh no, I can't sew at all. You can still make costumes. I could not sew at all, but I had my grandmother with me and she taught me how to sew, and I just chose a very basic costume for my first time. Like, I know people get really overzealous and then they try to do this, but it turns out like this. I have my issues with box Gundams. I'm kidding guys, you guys are awesome. But yeah, you have to really think about your own skill level. If you can sew, try to, you know, choose a basic costume for your first time. You know, like just a plain dress or, you know, school uniform or something, I guess. I don't know. But if you can't sew at all, try your first time at alterations of like pre-bought or pre-made clothing from like Salvation Army or wherever the thrift stores are where you live. But yeah, you can alter things quite easily, and it's just better for you if you don't know how to sew to start with that. And if you don't know how to sew but still want to make your own costume, try to get some help. Be it, you know, a family member or just a friend that also cosplays but has been doing it longer. It's just really nice to have kind of a network of support for doing your costume for your first time, because you can get really frustrated and fed up with things, and then you need someone else's view of it to really understand what to do next. This is my own little personal thing that I do with my costumes if I can, is I try to put pockets, like hidden pockets, into the costume. Because I hate carrying bags with me. They're just extra bulk and I don't like it. If I can't put a pocket in, I generally get a pack mule. Pack mule being one of my decently good friends and that go to conventions with me, and I just give them my stuff to hold. So when I need to buy something, I'm just like, hey you, get over here. Next thing you should consider is size. Size is a big issue. I had to learn this through experience because I had wings. They were a bit different than the ones here, but the convention was like this. It was crazy, like my wings started to like get bent a little bit, and like the feathers started to be wrecked because people kept brushing in on them. And yeah, you really need to think about the sizing, like the space for your costume. If you're going to have any like sort of wings or big tail or any sort of outfit that projects outwards from your body, try to think about the spacing of it, because conventions can get quite crowded and people are going to run into you and step on stuff if you have like... I've known a lot of people that do really elaborate amazing costumes with like 3 like wings on each side of them and like awesome large staves with like elaborate stuff on them. But they generally stay to the outside of the convention as much as possible. Generally the outside has like photo shoots and stuff if it's a summer convention. During winter conventions they do have that sometimes, but generally it's inside and there's more likelihood of your stuff being broken and stuff. Yeah. Another thing to consider is going to the bathroom and changing in and out of your costume. You need to think about these things. You don't want to have someone with you while you go to the bathroom because your costume's big. Think about comfortable footwear for your costume. I know sometimes you can't because the costume has crazy footwear, but if you can, try to work the shoe in a little bit before the convention so you don't get as much of blistering as you would otherwise. Because conventions, you're on your feet all day, all the time, non-stop, except for when you eat. But even then, it's quite go go go, because there's so much to see and do and yay! But yeah, that's just my own preference. When you're doing your first costume, it's probably better to avoid wigs if you can. Wigs just add like that extra hassle of styling, and if you get a really cheap wig, it's going to look really cheap, so you'd have to go for the more expensive stuff, and you'd have to be able to, you know, put that in your budget. And it's just a big hassle for me personally. Some people, you know, go for the wigs and they look amazing, but they also know what they're doing. So yeah, if you are like a hairstylist or something and you know what to do, go for it. Have fun. But for me personally, I would avoid it for your first time. Next thing to consider would probably be weather. If it's a summer convention, try not to wear something like a fur cape like I did, because I got really, really warm and it was August, and yeah, Mononoke is not the best costume for August. Then again, my little red costume was not the best costume for winter. I need to change those around a little bit, I think. But yeah, don't get a heat stroke and don't get frostbite. That's all I'm telling you guys. Think of your weather. Last but not least, try to think of a character that looks kind of like you for your first time. I know you might love a certain character and I totally tell you to go for that character, but if you love a character and the character kind of looks like you anyway, it's just much easier to dress up as. I know with people with darker skin tones have more of an issue because there's not a lot of characters, and I have no issue with people, you know, doing a darker skin version of a white character or what have you, because there's very limited characters, and personally I don't care if people are a bit chubby and they cosplay non-chubby characters, because it's life. As long as they make their costume to themselves, and not try to make the costume to the character as much, because you're going to be the one that's wearing it. Anime characters have longer legs than normal actual people, and so the skirts are going to be 10 times shorter if you make it to the character instead of to yourself. And when you're on stage, people will look up your skirt because that's all they can see. So just keep that in mind if you're going to try to do a costume and you're trying to get to the character as possible, because anime characters do have longer legs and I believe a little bit longer arms than we do. And yeah, it should be for you. You should be totally comfortable in your costume. And if you're not, then don't go as that character. You can still love that character and be like, oh, look, yay and awesome about it, but if you don't feel comfortable wearing it, don't. The main reason for cosplaying is to have fun and, you know, send your love to the series of whatever you're cosplaying. But yeah, those are my tips for your beginning cosplay, and next video I'm going to be talking about things you will need to make the costume. Probably not going to be talking a lot about armor right now because I'm currently working on understanding armor myself, but I'll just show you a little bit of kind of what to expect for actually making your first costume. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you guys later. Bye!